everybody, welcome to A Fern Between Us, episode 95.
We are two of the four owners of Vivac Winery. I'm Jesse.
I'm Michelle, and Karen is out sick today. She got that horrible cold that's going around, so we have Gloria sitting in.
Gloria. Nice. Is it, this is the first I know of the name.
What can I say? The whole thing was made up during the pandemic, and we were a little crazy. So I don't know how Karen the non-Fern Fern became our mascot in the first place. So maybe we'll stick with Gloria for a while. She's cute.
Right.
All right, so today we are going to be talking about port. We have two phenomenal ports to taste, and we're going to answer some questions as well, but let's do a little check-in. All right, so today in particular, we had kind of an exciting day. If you're not familiar, New Mexico has its own professional team. It's New Mexico United, which is...
What kind of team?
Soccer team.
Professional soccer team.
Sorry, that's an important word. I left that out. So it's really exciting, and we haven't gotten to go to a game yet, but Chris and Lily have gotten to go to a couple with their kids, and it's just super awesome to have a professional team in the state.
Right.
And have it be soccer too. That's something that I think we all are enthusiastic about.
It's kind of a big deal in Albuquerque and all that. So
right? And so they stopped by. We can't tell you why, but they stopped by.
They'll let you know soon, though. They'll let you know soon, and then we can talk about it.
Exactly. End of March, we could talk about it, but all you need to know is, that was really cool. And really fun. And if you guys didn't know about it, you should really start to follow United and cheer them on. It's awesome. New Mexico team, right?
Somos unidos.
So cool. Love it. All right. So let's see. What else? What else have you been up to?
I had a stress test for my heart this morning.
Oh, yes. And was your heart stressed?
Well, I mean, they don't tell you much, but he looked at it. He's like, nah, you're doing amazing. He's going to send it over to the doctor. Doctor may have some notes for me. I don't know, but he sounded like, nah, we're good.
Awesome.
But I've never had that before, which was kind of cool and weird.
It was kind of fun.
Running on a treadmill with, my whole chest full. They shaved me up here.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, they shaved me. And
I thought you were just being very eccentric.
And then stuffed a bunch of, sensors on me and stuff like that.
I didn't know about this. I had no idea. So then he's just showing me this weird shave pattern, and I was like...
I have not seen it. I just lifted my shirt for her.
It's interesting.
So lucky.
40-year-old virgin when he goes and gets waxed, and it's
looks like
that's
that.
a weird pattern.
Why didn't you say anything?
Well,
that's hilarious.
I didn't know that you did it for a stress test. I thought you just did it. Like, hey, baby, check out this new weird thing I'm doing. And I was like, huh. Okay. I'm not going to tell you, no, but also, whoa, I don't know.
Hilarious.
Midlife crisis is doing some weird thing with your body hair.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Anyway, so back to updates. Let's see. I was gone this past weekend.
Yep.
In Texas at the International Wine Competition in Buda, outside of Austin. Love this group. Phenomenal group from all over the world. Little tight-knit family. It's super cool. I love these people.
Super cool.
And we just got the results today of the 4 wines that we entered. We got 2 golds and 2 silvers. That is a Chardonnay gold, a Malbec gold, a Cabernet silver, and a Barbera silver. So really fantastic. We also... I try not to share too much information while we're actually during the judging. And of course, I don't get any information during the judging, but that weekend we have all these meals together and fun events, and they will share some of the winner wines with us for dinners and such. And so I had a little bit of an inkling that we had done really well. And I was able to talk to some of the other judges openly about the wine at that point because it's
That's
already
cool.
been judged.
Yeah.
And people were flipping out. I mean, just the most incredible things to say about your wines.
That's really cool. I mean,
It's amazing.
it feels good even after all these years. Like, I don't know, you still need validation somehow.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I don't know why. Not that, not that my life or my ego depends on it or something like that, but it still does feel good.
Yeah, especially when you have judges from, Czech Republic and Italy and Great Britain and I mean,
Right.
all these really well-known names coming together and they taste your wine and say, whoa, including Daniele, hi, if you're watching, who is from Italy. And if he likes your Barbera and
He's from right in that area too, where they grow, where
from
Barbera is.
Tuscany,
Yeah.
just south, and he was astounded. He was
Yep.
taking pictures, and now that the results have been released, maybe we'll get to see some of those too. All right, so that's super exciting. Congratulations!
Hey, thank you.
And
when you got home, you got sick immediately because we were sick, and we were sick while you were gone.
yeah, that
And you can
sounded
hear
fun.
it in my voice still, and your voice still, and our daughter's voice still.
What's that actress's name? Kathleen Turner. That's what I
Nice.
feel like. So that, very gravelly.
The rasp.
Yes.
So if we break into a coughing fit, we may just call it right then and there.
I can't breathe. I'm tapping out. Okay. So we are talking about port today.
Oh yeah.
And we have two excellent selections. Of course, we have a Vivac Amante. Now, why did we call it Amante?
Because we can't call it port. It's like calling something champagne. It has to be. Oh, that's a big pour for port. Uh-oh, here she goes. Here she goes. We're calling it already. No, the place names in the wine world have slowly been. They're trying to make port mean the word port means something because originally it was from Oporto, Portugal, and they finally got their name.
Proprietary kind of claim.
They finally got their name back because then people started making wines in a port style, but and they were always allowed to call them port, but now we're no longer allowed to call them port, and so we have to figure out we couldn't call it a port style. Which we do when we advertise that, and it says it somewhere on the back of the label or whatever. But any other name will do. So I don't know. We called it Amante for lovers.
Lovers.
Because we're Tres Sensual. I don't know.
Right?
What were we thinking when we were 30?
Yeah.
You live, you learn, you grow.
We might
I don't know.
revisit that.
It doesn't have to be called Amante. This is not like a cornerstone of our marketing, whatever. But so it may change its name at some point. We'll probably always have it.
Ideas? Maybe there's something else that we could call it.
We usually only make, once every 4 years. We do several barrels, and then release them when the other vintage is done.
And how do you make it?
Okay, yeah, port. So it starts as a regular wine. You get the grapes, you crush them, you start the fermentation, and then when it's about halfway done with fermentation, you cool the temperature down, you add SO2, and most importantly, you add brandy or grape wine spirits at a super constantly. Yeah. It's so basically. What you drink is normally like 40% or something, like 40% alcohol. We added in at as a 60% alcohol, but it can be anywhere from 60 to 80 or 50 to 80, I think, percent alcohol. We want a lot of the flavor of the alcohol itself in there. So that's why, we make some of these decisions, and we decide to do it about halfway through fermentation so that it's about 12% residual sugar when we add it, and by the time everything settles out, we end up with like a 8%.
And that's part of what
Yeah.
keeps it stable, right?
Exactly.
Is that high alcohol.
You need the high alcohol. Also, the high sugar helps to keep it stable.
Because it's killing the yeast.
Exactly,
right?
and it does not have the acidity of a normal still wine, a table wine. So that's the acidity is generally what keeps a wine super stable as a table wine.
Right.
So we need the alcohol
Exactly.
and the sugar to as a to keep it stable.
Which a lot of people
Yeah.
don't realize that a sweet wine made where it's the natural sugars still in the wine, it's open to all kinds of problems.
Oh yeah.
And so that is actually very tricky to have a really well-made, stable sweet wine with that residual
Right,
being
that has
high.
like 2% sugar.
Yeah.
Because everything in the world wants to eat that sugar. Until you hit about 8 or 10% sugar, it's at 8 or 10%. That's harder for organisms to grow and start thriving on that sugars. But it sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. I was just going to say, Denali, can you get me a glass to pour the rest of my Cabernet in so I can try the pour? Jesse said I poured too much, and I said, no, it's fine. And then now I need to move on. And so he was right. I was wrong. I am sorry.
But anyway, it's a really fun.
Here, pour some of that in
It's
there.
one of the only non-table wine styles that we've ever done, that we ever do. I always look forward to it. I'm glad I don't have to do it every year, but I always want to do it in a quantity that is, making 50 gallons of wine is much harder than making 200 gallons of wine for me. I feel like I don't know. So I want to wait until it's a full batch, till it's like 100 cases of wine style, quantity, somewhere in that range, and then it all starts making more sense or whatever. So this style, there's several different styles of port. Ruby and Tawny being the two major ones that everyone knows. Ruby's like the lighter, less aged, and Tawny being super aged.
And often Ruby is held in concrete or stainless.
Right.
And
right.
Tawny is usually in oak. But
Exactly. And the ones that you see in the store that say like 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, or 40-year sometimes, those are all time in barrel. So they've been in barrel for 10 years or 20 years. So they're super oxidized, as you can imagine, and have a lot of wood flavors in them, but lots of deep flavors, rich, awesome, beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah. So how would you describe yours?
So ours is somewhere in between, because we do have it in oak. This vintage ended up being, I think it was about 28 months in oak. And we had our neutral spirits, we had pre-aged those in oak as well.
Oh, so, that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got your local spirits very locally.
Very locally. So, yeah, exactly. Very locally from a Sangiovese wine that we made. And we illegally distilled it. No,
hey!
No.
Wow,
we had it distilled.
I was doing such a good job, and then you just blew it.
We had it distilled, and then used
by
that.
a legal distiller.
Of course.
All right, so.
But anyway, so I call this in between a Ruby and a Tawny. It's about half the minimum for a Tawny, and it's kind of like a vintage port. Is where it ends up. But it's it's neither nor exactly. It's our own thing.
One of the things that I think is super important to know about all ports, but specifically ours, is that it does change over time, and I highly suggest that you put it down for a little bit, because it does really evolve in the bottle.
Yeah.
And Matt Gooder, if you're watching, I know that you have an ancient bottle of ours. I can't wait to hear when you finally open it.
I think the vintages we've made are 08, 11, 15, and 20.
08 was the very first one?
I believe so.
Well, then he's got an 08.
Wow.
Yeah, unlabeled, because he came up to visit us.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
No
and
way.
he's been saving it. He's like, when do I open it? I was like, I think now. But
Probably every handful of years he has to go back with the magic marker to
Right?
make so he knows what it is.
Totally.
That's amazing. Oh, that would be cool. I'm jealous. I want to taste that.
Right? Okay, so we are going to jump into our next port, which is from the fabulous Paolo, who is our grape grower down in the southern part of the state.
Luna Rosa Winery. I don't know if you can see this. He calls it Maximus. We call ours Amante. He calls it Maximus for some reason. We don't know why. Do we know why?
We don't know why. He didn't tell me the story behind the name, but it does have beautiful silver foil. I admire the label.
This is a 2007, guys.
2007. And
We've never tasted this. I'm really excited. This may be the oldest wine on somebody's active wine list in New Mexico right now.
And Paolo is from Friuli, north of Venice. He did all of his viticulture and enology studies over there, came over here, ran New Mexico vineyards, still does, obviously, but then opened his own winery and makes sensational wines. He ages his wines more than anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible. You're like, oh,
Wait till you taste this.
What age is that Nebbiolo? And he's like, from 1800s. It's like so ridiculous. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. He's really, really incredible with the details and
Yeah, he does a great job, and his price point is lower than most, which is pretty wild. He's doing a remarkable job. But this, all right, so the grapes.
Oh, holy shit!
I know, it's really good. It's really good.
Wow.
Tastes like dried cherries or something to me. I get a
yes.
You know, a dried cherries tang in the back. It's awesome.
Oh.
I know. Do you know how much he charges for this?
I don't. I didn't look that up. I asked him for all these geeky information things, and then I was like, oh, some basics.
Well,
Luna Rosa
he should be charging
Winery.
$100 for this half bottle, but if he's not, even
Buy
if
it.
he is, buy some.
Oh my gosh. The other thing
really
is that he ages it in older American oak.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. And then say the grape, because I'm going to mispronounce it. Sauza?
I would call it
So.
so. I would call it so, but it's Souzau with a tilde on top of that. Yeah, it's all right. So that's the other part. Everything, these all come from Portugal. Both we use Tempranillo in ours. In Portugal, it's known as Tinta Roriz, but
very classic grape to use.
they use over 100 different varieties in Portugal for making ports. Both of these are in that list. Tempranillo is one of the top 5 ones that they use, and we happen to be using it as well. This one is definitely one that they use for port as well, but it's not one of the main 5 that people use. Before looking this up, Michelle and I had never heard of this grape. There's a little bit in California. There's a little bit in a few places, but not much.
Evidently, they use it in Australia, both as a port grape and as a table wine grape as part of the blending. I love learning about new grapes. And so I think this is really, really exciting when somebody says, oh, check out this grape, and I know nothing, and then I have to do a little research.
That's fun.
Love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Also, if you're watching, Paolo, why didn't we know that you were growing this grape?
Right? Should have told us and should have sold us some.
And it's because it's his private vineyard, and he's not doing it.
He's been giving me crap about the stuff we're planting. He's like, oh, these weird grapes you grow over there.
Well, we're going to see all of our wonderful New Mexico winery friends at the New Mexico Wine Conference this weekend, and you can give them a lot of shit.
I'm gonna.
So, cheers, Paolo.
Cheers.
This is really, really dynamic.
Obviously, way more of a tawny style. And ours is like way more of a fresher, newer, younger style.
Yeah, very different.
They both have their place. They're both great.
Yes.
Port is one of the kinds of one of the only sweet wines that I just love. There's Sauterne, there's Tokai, and there's Port. And Madeira, but more for cooking more than drinking.
Yes. Yeah, kind of.
But I don't know. It's pretty rare that I just love a sweet wine and
right. Well, and that's one of the things. So, I'm sorry, we need to jump into some questions. I like port, but rarely have an after-dinner drink. When can I use it other than that? And I think this is such a key element.
You can use it anytime. And honestly...
It's all about the pairings, I think.
Well, I think not even, too. Like, I think a mid-afternoon or to start the night off, honestly. Anytime you're craving a little something sweet, instead of reaching for a cookie, you could have a little couple ounces of port. You know what I mean? Like, or so instead of dessert.
One of the things that comes to mind, you mentioned the Tokai, and so we were in Tokai, and they served us the most amazing basket of freshly made bread and a jar of foie gras and sweet Tokai. Oh. And it was so exceptional, and I think that pairing just blew our minds because we would not have normally chosen a sweet wine to go with that. That wasn't my go-to, but when in Rome, they definitely...
Tokai to me is
no, this is how you're going to have this. You don't get a choice.
Tokai to me is like kind of like almost honey. And then like when you get into the older port style wines, like this is like a cherry syrup you would pour over your pancakes or something like that. Yes. It's almost like a syrup, but... So
not
that's
that
why you don't.
But
that's why you didn't see us pouring up to here. A 5-ounce pour. Like we literally want like 3 ounces or 2 ounces of this. Yeah. And for that, it's so perfect.
Oh, it's so great. And I did teach a class on deep dive into chocolate and wine pairings, and I threw down the gauntlet that port is the very best chocolate and wine pairing. And it's because it can handle any chocolate level.
Oh, wow.
It actually pretty much rocks with white chocolate, and it's a wild sensation.
What?
So this is not your normal combination. It's definitely weird, but it's almost like taking a bite of a lemon. It just zings all of your, which I did by accident the other night, thinking it was an orange. Long story, but it just enlivens all of your senses, and the combination is really kind of cool. It handles milk chocolate beautifully, handles dark chocolate beautifully. Yeah. It can really morph, and I think people think it should be just one thing, and it's so many. And one of the best things to do is to serve it as a aperitif at a dinner with warm nuts. And I know I'm walking into jokes, but you got to have the warm nuts when you have people over. And
the more nuts, the better.
Especially if they're salty warm nuts. I'm telling you, you are going to be a rock star if you got salty warm nuts and some port.
Also worth noting is lots of the cheeses go insane with
hard cheese.
Hard
cheeses go particularly well. I think they have a high. I know that they have a higher salt content, and that's part of that play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really, really well.
In any even soft cheeses though too, like think of a blue cheese or something like that.
Oh,
you know
something
what I mean?
really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
You
It's
definitely, especially a tawny.
yeah.
You want to go. So tawny ports give off more nutty. God, I don't know what my thing is with nuts today, but give off a more nutty part of the aromas and flavor, and it's because they've been in oak for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a great
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah. So any or all of the above, just a little bit of sorry.
I'm sorry
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt. I was just gonna say, and also, so we're giving you like combinations for pairings, but you can also make cocktails. And so one of the things that I haven't played around with that much, but is highly recommended, is a white port and tonic water. And it's supposedly a traditional drink in Portugal.
Okay.
And people rave about it. And you can do like a little squeeze of lime or lemon. But it depends on where you're at. Like, but it's supposed to be pretty popular.
Cool.
So I'm going to have to try that. And then it's often added as the sweetness for like a Manhattan or, these kind of old fashioned where you can use it. And
This would be amazing as a Manhattan, but also, like I said, it might be
really
$100 a bottle.
Right?
You know what I mean?
You better really want that old fashioned,
Yeah. These
or
are
your
upper end.
guests better know what you just put in that drink. Charge them at the door.
Right.
All right. So, hopefully, if you have more questions.
Anytime. A couple ounces, you're not going to get too buzzed on this. You can go about the rest of your day. I would even say in the morning is an amazing time to have port. Literally anytime. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
They also keep a little bit, so
yes.
if you're planning on, if you really want to open it tonight or whenever, you open it, and then every day you just have a couple ounces at some point.
Yeah, lasts way longer.
Exactly. This will last on the opened.
Few days. For sure. Even
Unchanged for a week or two. You would think. I would hope, but probably go a month. I don't know.
All right. Question number 2. I want to enter the label contest that we're having. We should have maybe reminded you about that at the top. But am bad at art. Can I suggest an idea? So I think this is really interesting because we are celebrating our 20-year anniversary of having our tasting room open, and we're doing this special label competition. And this is actually a question I've heard a lot because people want to participate, but they're like, do I draw a drawing? And no, but of course, if you can't draw, don't draw a drawing because we're not going to pick it. But we are doing our very first Beaujolais style wine as a commemorative. It's going to be coming out in late October, and we want a special label for it. So what does our history, celebration, whatever, any of these words that I'm throwing out there, what does that look like to you? And if you have an idea, if you can be very specific, we have a phenomenal graphic designer that every time Liliana and I have an idea, we go to him and we say, this is Jeff Spicer. He's amazing. He's local in Dixon. We say, Jeff.
What about this?
So what if it like kind of, and then sort of, and then like, but had this kind of feel? He loves us. And then
so the answer is yes.
Into something amazing. So
definitely feed us your ideas. And if it's your idea that we use to get this concept out,
your name will be on the label.
Absolutely.
Yes. And just be as detailed as possible.
Right, exactly. That'll help.
Yeah. Colors, forms, whatever. Send pictures of stuff. Kind of like this, kind of like that. All right. Last question is 20 plus years together, the 4 of you seem to get along so well. You make it look easy to be in business together. Is that real?
Yeah, actually,
it
is. Every relationship takes work, and every relationship is going to have its ups and downs, and then also our patterns, right? So it's not like we don't grate on each other sometimes in some ways, but yeah, no, it's been great.
Some
apparently
grate on each other more than others. No, No, I'm just kidding. I love Jesse, and he is perfect. No, I think it's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
20 years is a really long time,
Yeah.
especially when you think about the beginning years. We were in one small space.
Living on top of each other almost.
No doors. No doors, people. We drove each other crazy back then, but we were also so tight, you know? And I do think it's really, really unique. And yeah, it is real. Yeah. We do get through this, and we're all supportive of each other. And it is absolutely amazing that you and Chris are just like this, making all the wine and working in the vineyard, and Liliana and I are just like this, running the business. And I mean, we did strike gold, and I'm sorry. It's not easy.
We got lucky, and we work on it, and you know, and we talk ourselves through rough times whenever that happens. But just, you know, we gotta be like a duck, you know. Water off the whatever. I don't know.
Well, and luckily the four of us have very similar aesthetics and ideas and goals. And
if one of us was trying to put cat paws everywhere, and one of us just hated that, like, it would be really hard to be like. But a lot of the stuff we see eye to eye on, and so like it's not that hard to. You know, there's minutia. There's things, of course. Sometimes we disagree about stuff, but the big picture stuff is almost always like we're all just seamless, and I think we're super lucky for that.
I do too. Thank you guys so much for writing in your questions. Keep them coming. We don't know what we're going to talk about next. Oh, yes, we do, because it's the start of the month. So it'll be Wine Club Wines.
Wine Club Wines next Thursday.
What did you guys release to the wine club?
Just now?
Yeah. That's what we're going to taste.
Oh, Sangio and Diablo. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm very excited about both of these wines.
Two of our least expensive wine and our most expensive wine.
And we'll tell you why.
Yeah. And
cool.
Also both my favorites as well. So
good. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys so much, and continue to be watching our social media feeds on all the different platforms. We are updating you guys with all kinds of fun trivia and things as we celebrate our 20-year anniversary. And don't forget, every time you buy a bottle, we plant a tree with Eden Reforestation Projects. Thank you. Yeah, port. It's strong. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.